5 Top-rated tourist attractions in New York. The task of choosing a handful of top attractions to represent the entire state of New York is not an easy one thanks to its nearly endless things to see and do, from the historic to the most contemporary. New York City is undeniably the state's most popular tourist destination but is so packed with famous attractions that visitors to the Big Apple will be more than satisfied with one bite at a time. The borough of Manhattan is home to many of the city's top destinations, like Central Park, Times Square, the Empire State Building, and much more. Upstate New York, as locals call pretty much anything north of the city, is known for its many lakes and mountains and is popular year-round. Our countdown will start with Number 5. Finger Lakes. According to Iroquois legend, the long, narrow lakes in the landscape west of Syracuse were formed by the impression of the fingers of the Great Spirit. The numerous lakes that make up the Finger Lakes region offer a range of outdoor opportunities in a visually stunning landscape. There are several towns and resorts around the lakes, most of which are particularly busy during the summer months. Some interesting ways to explore the area are on the Cayuga Trail, the Seneca Lake Trail, and the Keuka Trail. The town of Corning is home to the Living History Museum Heritage Village of the Southern Finger Lakes, as well as the Rockwell Museum, which features a variety of artwork. Auburn is also home to several attractions, including the Harriet Tubman House, the Seward House Museum, Willard Chapel, and the Finger Lakes Mall. Additional attractions include the Finger Lakes Museum in Branchport and the Sonnenberg Gardens and Mansion State Park. Moving on to Number 4. Niagara Falls. Niagara Falls is one of the natural wonders of North America, drawing millions of visitors each year. Located along the border of Canada and the United States, there are actually 3 waterfalls within the park: Bridal Veil Falls, American Falls, and Horseshoe Falls, also known as Canadian Falls. Horseshoe Falls is widest and tallest, dropping 167 feet from a 2,700-foot wide ledge. Tourists can get a panoramic view of all 3 falls from the observation tower or take the famed Maid of the Mist boat tour into the basin of Horseshoe Falls. In addition to park information and tour tickets, the visitor center has a gift shop, several dining options, and a theater that shows a 40-minute film about the history and legend of the falls. The park also provides nighttime illumination of the Horseshoe Falls and hosts spectacular fireworks shows on special occasions. Our countdown continues with Number 3. Central Park. Although it may appear on a map as a small patch of green within the grid of Manhattan streets, Central Park is an expansive space that contains enough sights and things to do to last for days, if not longer. The park is home to a wide range of attractions, from impressive architecture to peaceful gardens. Bethesda Terrace is known for its stunning arcade lined with Minton tiles, which were created in the 1860s, and the Mall, an idyllic, broad pathway canopied by the arching limbs of centuries-old American elms, begins at the terrace. Tourists will find several peaceful spots to relax, like the formal Conservatory Garden, the Shakespeare Garden, or the famed Chess and Checkers House. Kids will enjoy the Central Park Zoo, which features sea lions, penguins, and other animals, and the younger ones will want to ride on the historic carousel. The park also has, of course, expansive green lawns, as well as several ponds, and can be toured by horse-drawn carriage for the ultimate romantic sightseeing experience. Moving on to Number 2. Times Square. There are weeks' worth of attractions and things to do in and around Times Square, but even a brief visit to experience the bigger-than-life excitement is worth the trip. The heart of Times Square is at the junction of Broadway and 7th Ave, where you will be mesmerized by the massive screens that announce everything from the newest films and shows to special presentations. The pedestrian areas are full of artists, performers, and tourists taking in the cacophony of the city and the enticing smells wafting from the food trucks that line the streets. While in the neighborhood, a visit is not complete without dinner at Sardi's restaurant and a show in the world-famous theater district. There are plenty of family attractions, including Madame Tussauds, which has not only amazing waxworks and interactive exhibits but also offers a new perspective from the glass-walled viewing platform that protrudes over the sidewalk. Times Square is also home to a staggering number of stores, big and small, and no visit is complete without a stop at M&M World where you can't help but smile. The Empire State Building, another NYC icon, is within walking distance of the square and is open until 2 am for breathtaking views of the city below. And finally, our number 1 spot is Statue of Liberty and Ellis Island. The Statue of Liberty is the nation's most iconic monument, a symbol of hope to millions of immigrants on their way to Ellis Island. Tourists can visit both attractions via a ferry operated by the National Park Service that meets passengers at Battery Park and runs continuous loops throughout the day. The first stop is the statue, where visitors can enjoy views of both the monument and the New York City skyline at no charge. You can also purchase tickets to access the pedestal or crown, although crown passes sell out at least 6 months in advance. There is a museum in the base of the statue, as well as extensive educational signs, statues, and historic markers. The ferry stops next at Ellis Island, where there is a museum on the first floor of the main building, an architectural masterpiece that once served as the main processing center and hospital from 1892 to 1954. On the upper level, tourists can wander the rooms of the quarantine wing and see some of the original bunks and facilities used by those hoping to start new lives. There are poignant exhibits throughout, with walls of photos, documents, and personal stories that capture defining moments in American history, one person at a time. Tourists should plan at least a half day to enjoy sightseeing at both attractions, or if pressed for time consider hopping aboard the ferry and using the ride to get phenomenal views of these historic landmarks from many angles. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel for daily videos.